guys. Hey everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we try to cover all things reality, TV news, and gossip. We cover teen moms, sister wives, 90 Day Fiance, the Duggar family, as much as we possibly can. I also have another channel. It's a true crime channel called Fatal Files with Elle. The link to that channel is in the description box. If you are interested on that channel, we are covering the grieving mom that allegedly overdosed her husband and then wrote a book about grieving. We are covering the girl that did not tell anybody that she was pregnant, went into the hospital, had her baby in the toilet, or had her baby on the toilet in the bathroom, and then put her baby in the garbage can. A lot of different things we cover on that channel. So if you're interested in that as well, check that channel out. I'm going to try to go through this, just like all the information, and then we'll discuss afterwards, because I know people that watch on replay, they're like, oh, your videos are so long. So for those watching on replay, we're going to try to go over all the information. I'm going to read 2 articles, and then I'm going to go over some posts over on Twitter that's discussing this information. Really quick recap, and I know this is all information that you probably do already know, but for anybody that is just a little bit behind, I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay, so what we know is back in March, Barbara gave custody over to Janelle. Barbara has had custody of Jace, her grandson, since he was 6 weeks old. Now, even despite that, he has lived with her since birth. Janelle was out partying, continued to do what she wanted to do, run behind men, blow money on men, not her son, and stay out all hours of the night and not come in to take care of her son. So Barbara ended up with custody of Jace. Also, I do want to say that Janelle had gotten in trouble legally. Now Janelle paints this picture that she was backed into a corner, that she was lied to, that she had to give her mom custody because she was lied to. That is not the case. If you go back and you watch the episodes where she signed her son over to her mom, it was literally because CPS was like, we're about to take your child. You have been arrested, like you have multiple charges. We're about to take your son. So either place him or we're going to take him. And her mom, Barbara, was like, listen, I'll take him so he doesn't have to be placed, right? So Barbara took Jace on. She had already been paying for him to be in daycare. She did everything, right? After that, she had Jace up until he was 14 years old. Now, Jace does, you have to be very cautious when you talk about a minor, because I don't like putting a minor's information out there as far as like mental health. But because it's been on the show, it was on Teen Mom, Janelle and Barbara have talked about the fact that Jace struggled a lot with his mental health. He had pretty severe ADHD. So Barbara got him into some, behavioral therapy classes. She also got him on some medication. Thank you so much, Zuna. You guys, last night we hit 80,000 subscribers. What? And I will be doing a celebration stream tonight. Okay. Probably around 8:30, we'll do a stream where we just kind of go over my journey on YouTube. It's been quite the journey. So thank you so much, Zuna. Thank you for that. So Barbara got him, into seeing a therapist very early on when Jay started school. You guys, he did struggle. He struggled to pay attention. He struggled with, taking it in because he has ADHD, and it's pretty extreme ADHD from my understanding. So Barbara did what she thought she needed to do, and that was take him to see a doctor, get him on the appropriate medication. And they went through different medications to find the one that fit him, which is a lot of times what you do, right? She got him into behavioral therapy classes and all of this, doing what she felt she needed to do. Now, if you guys remember, probably when Jace was about 8 years old, Janelle had met up with her mom to return Jace. Jace had been in her care for the weekend, and she brought Jace back to her mom, and they met up at a gas station. And Janelle handed a bag to Barbara as Jace got out of the back seat. And Barbara looked at the bag and said, this is his medication. You didn't give him his medication? And she said, no, Mom, I didn't. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. So this is something that we saw early on in the show, is that Janelle would not give Jace his medication when he would be over there. And I can't even stress, I don't, depending on what kind of medication you're on, but it's not good for a kid to be on, off, especially particular types of medication. Some of these medications need to be in your system, like you need to take them for a week before they're in your system. So if you're all, not giving it. I would imagine it might have Jace on an up, down, and should not be that great for him, Either way, over the years, stories have come out about Jace struggling with his mental health, struggling with, to be quite honest, I have a child that has ODD, which is called oppositional defiant disorder is what it is. And, you would think this is a child that just needs to be punished, but that's not what it is. You can punish them all day long and it does nothing. They are very, very, very defiant, and it's a very difficult situation to deal with. And me having a child with this and what I know about Jace, I honestly have wondered if Jace has ODD. And, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not diagnosing him, but as a mother of a child that has it, I really have wondered. Either way, we know that he has ADHD. I want to say that I've heard somewhere that he could potentially be bipolar, but I don't know that for certain. Either way, it seems like Barbara was trying to do the best that she could to get him help, get him on medications. He was seeing a behavioral therapist like once a week. Okay. So she was doing the thing. When Jace, right before Jace turned 14, Barbara, she had already been retired for a couple of years. She decided she was going to give Jace to Janelle. Janelle had seemed to be kind of settled down for a couple of years. There had been no 911 calls, made from Janelle for like maybe 2 years or so. So Barbara, 70 years old, retired, said, you know what? My time is like raising kids. I think it's up. I'm going to give you the opportunity to raise your son. Mind you, Janelle has been begging her mom, Barbara, to do this for many, many years. She has taken Barbara back to court at least twice over the years to try to regain custody of her son, Jace. Both times it ended in failure. Both times, Janelle would take her to court, hire an attorney, be on social media saying, oh, I'm taking my mom back to court. I'm going to get my son. I'm going to get my son. I'm going to get my son. Only for the judge to say, no, let's keep Jace where he is. I think Jace needs to be here. He's got stability here. He's on the medication here. He's seeing his therapist here. Let's leave him here. Now, each time that she took her mom to court, she did get a little bit more visitation. So while it wasn't a complete fail, she did not get custody back of her son, Jace. So this past March, when Barbara made the decision, I was looking at Janelle's page where she put up this short on Facebook of where, it's done. It shows her signing the paperwork, and it shows her holding the paperwork saying that she has now retained legal custody of her son, Jace. And so many people was like, you deserve this, Janelle. So happy for you. This is so great. I don't think anybody really considered, what it could potentially do for Jace having the struggles with his mental health. And let me be clear, even back then when I saw it, I was like, maybe this is a good thing. Barbara is getting older. Maybe this is a good thing for Jace to be with his mom, to be with his siblings, and Barbara to kind of do her thing, But really, if you look at it and what we kind of know a little bit about Jace and how he does struggle with his mental health, I think that transition was not good for him. And I think it threw him for a loop mentally, right? Either way, she got custody back in March. And in August, he started running away. So August 15th, I think, was the first time that he ran away, and he got expelled from school. And we still don't know exactly what happened for why he got expelled, but there's been some, chatter about why he got expelled, and some photos between him and maybe his girlfriend that were being exchanged that was shown to other people, allegedly. I don't know this to be the case, but, could that be kind of normal 13, 14-year-old kid stuff? Potentially. But he got expelled. And when the principal called Janelle and said somebody needs to come get him, he got expelled. Janelle said, sure, I'll send my husband, David. So Jace booked it from the school. He took off. He was like, no, David ain't come to get me. So he left. And he was found a couple of hours later. It went all over social media that he was missing because of a 911 call that was placed, obviously. Like a week and a half later, he ran away again, and he was located at a gas station about 10 miles away from the property. Then on September 28th, he ran away for a third and final time. At this point, I'm like, listen, something is not right. He's not running away just to... That's true, Joanne. That's true. At the third time that he runs away in a matter of like a month and a half, I'm like, listen, he's running away from something. Clearly, he's not happy. This is not him sneaking out to go hang out with his friends and then sneaking back in. This is not him sneaking out to go meet up with his girlfriend and then coming back home. He's literally leaving and trying to not go back home. So what is happening here? Thank you so much, Green Goblin. So on the night of the 28th, which is the night that he ran away, he contacted his Maymay, Barbara, and said, Maymay, I've ran away again. Can you come get me? Now, mind you, earlier that day, Barbara was in court with Janelle because Janelle had filed to get a restraining order against Barbara, not only for Janelle, but for Janelle's children as well. So that day, Janelle was in court, and the judge said, I don't believe you need a restraining order against your mother for you or your children, so I'm going to deny it. However, I think that kind of shook Barbara up a little bit that, Jace, by all accounts, she raised Jace and she probably looks at him as her son. But for just a few months into it, for Janelle already to be trying to get a restraining order, not only for her, but for Jace as well. For Jace as well. She tried to for Jace as well, right? So I think that kind of shook Barbara up. So when Jace contacted Barbara and said, May come get me, she was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, I was just in court with your mom. If I go get you, she's going to have me arrested for kidnapping. Hang tight. Let me make some calls. Hang tight. And he said, May David assaulted me. Hang tight. Don't go back home, So from my understanding, CPS got involved. The cops were already looking for him. And CPS told Barbara, like, hey, if he calls you back, do X, Y, and Z, right? This is all stuff that's been reported from my understanding. If he contacts you again, this is what you need to do. What we know is Friday night, someone saw Jace and Barbara enter into the ER of a North Carolina hospital, right? And they overheard Jace saying, my mom's husband, David, assaulted me. He attacked me. So this person actually put it on social media. Hey, I was in the ER last night with my daughter and Jace and Barbara walked in. At this point, nobody knew that Jace had been found. Everybody was still like, oh my God, here we are over 24 hours later and we don't know where Jace is. So then it comes out, that he's at the hospital. And this is just hearsay. This is somebody saying it. And when somebody puts something on social media, if somebody posts something on Twitter, you still don't know if you can really believe that 100%. However, a few hours later, the Ashley Realities Roundup kind of solidified that comment by saying, yes, Jace was found Friday night. He did spend Friday night in the hospital, and he also spent Saturday in the hospital where Barbara was there with him. And he absolutely did tell CPS, medical staff, and the sheriff's department that he had been attacked by David Eason. These are all things that we know happened due to the Ashley pulling a police report. This isn't a police report that Jace absolutely was in the hospital, that Barbara was there with him. And these are the things that was told to CPS, the police department, and medical personnel. Okay, so after that, what we know is Janelle goes online saying, yes, Jace has been found. He's safe. He's good. But I'm not going to talk about Jace anymore. I want to give him privacy. We're not going to talk about him. So people's like, do you have him? Is he there? Then it comes out that he's not there, that she has lost custody of him potentially. She does not have custody of him, that he's not with her. She's calling everybody a liar. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I have Jace. I have not lost custody of Jace. I still have custody of Jace. These are lies. Somebody even posted on David's Facebook account, he's with Barbara. And David got angry and said, he is not with Barbara. That's not true. He can't even talk to Barbara. Barbara's not allowed to speak to him. Then a 911 call is placed last Wednesday where Janelle calls the police, demanding that the police tell her where her son is, despite the fact that she's been on social media for like the past 3 or 4 days saying, I know where my son is. I still have custody of my son. The media is lying. Don't believe the Ashley. Don't believe the son. Don't believe anybody. I know where my son is. I have him. However, 911 calls don't lie. And if you call, like people could literally call the Columbus County Sheriff's Department and get confirmation that Janelle did place this call. The only reason that they would not release the call is because Janelle did talk about Jace's medical information. So therefore they would not release it, but they would confirm that Janelle did call 911 looking for her son, demanding that the police department tell her where her son was. And when they would not tell her where her son was, she then demanded that the police go to Barbara's house to check to see if Jace was there, to which the police department said Jace is not there. He's not there. And I think this is because the police department already knew where he was. It came out that he was actually in a inpatient mental health facility getting help. I said when I heard that, she took him off his medication. I think he's in a mental health facility getting put back on medication. Also, right before Jace ran away, his TikTok page was kind of put out there. And the posts that was put out there were very worrisome. I mean, Jace, and I'm not going to, show you guys, but he put up some posts that were, that made you think that he was suicidal. Literally, he was saying things like, if I died today, would anybody care? I'm all alone in this world. Things about, suicide and committing suicide and not being loved and nobody caring if he died and things of that nature. So I think when he got back to the hospital and he told them what was happening, and Barbara knew that he was not on his medication because she told TMZ. When TMZ called her after he ran away the first time, Barbara said, "Well, I think the reason we're having problems is because Janelle took him off his medication and he has not been seeing his behavioral therapist." Janelle came out to say, "That's lies. That's not true." As a matter of fact, he has an appointment with his behavioral therapist this afternoon. It's a Zoom appointment. Mom is lying. She don't believe her, right? So I think whenever Barbara told the hospital staff that, I think Jace probably was not okay mentally. I mean, he had just been allegedly attacked by his mom's husband, and allegedly his mom did nothing. Allegedly, there's ring cam footage that shows David attacking Jace and Janelle sitting in the car with the other kids, not even getting out to stop this. Allegedly, okay? So can you imagine what that how that would affect your mental health if you just moved back in with your mom, who after all these years, throughout all these years, has just begged to have you back. And you think maybe you are something special to your mom because she's begged to have you back all these years. And the second she gets you back, she's buying you all these things, dirt bikes, this, that, that. And then one evening, her husband attacks you and she does nothing. She doesn't even so much as jump on his back and beat him upside the head. She just stands there, sits there looking at it. Can you imagine how that could affect your mental health? I mean, if my mom's husband jumped on me and my mom did not jump on him back, I would be like, whoa, the proof is in the pudding right there. Mom doesn't give a crap about me. So I would imagine Friday night, Saturday in the hospital, he was not well. That's what I would imagine. So I do think that they put him somewhere to get back on his medication, to maybe get him, with a mental health professional that could give him some counseling. And that's why David was saying, Jace is not with Barbara. He can't even talk to Barbara, because usually when you go to these places, you can't make a call for the first couple of days, right? So I think they were just kind of taking the facts and twisting them. But the whole time, David and Janelle was saying, we know where Jace is. Jace is safe. He's not with Barbara. He's not allowed to speak to Barbara. It's lies. He did not, nobody attacked Jace. Also, I want you guys to remember that when it first came out that he ran away, Janelle called 911 and said Jace snuck out of his bedroom window. Snuck out of his bedroom window, right? When it came out that David assaulted him, Janelle said, that's not true. I have witnesses to what happened. Well, what do you mean you have witnesses to what happened? I thought he snuck out of his window and you guys realized it later. So what, somebody saw him sneak out of his window? People like that right there showed me that something obviously did happen. It told me something happened. It was not just a matter of him, jumping out of the window and nobody knowing this. Okay, we're going to go over the Ashley's first article that proves that Janelle has been lying, which what else is new? Are we shocked? Not at all. All right, so let's read this article. So that's like a quick update. Sorry that it took so long. It took 18 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so this is the first article that came out 2 hours ago, right? And this is blowing Janelle's lies out the freaking water. Can we ever trust Janelle? No. Okay. Exclusive. Janelle Evans' lies exposed in court documents filed last week, admits she has no idea where her son Jace was, despite claiming otherwise online. See Janelle's other claims about her mom, Barbara. Also, let me be clear that yesterday a photo surfaced of Jace in the car with Barbara, where they looked happy as can be. Okay. They both looked so happy. Jace had this smile from ear to ear. And the person that rode up on them said they pulled up by a stop sign and was shocked to see that it was Janelle and Jace, Barbara and Jace, my apologies. And this was somebody that doesn't really keep up with the internet drama. So they had no idea what was happening. They just knew that it was, Barbara and Jace from the show. So this person asked, can I take a picture? And Barbara said, sure, and then the photo surfaced online. Okay. Note from the Ashley, a major update on the custody situation of Jace is coming. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm going to read this article and then I'm going to read the next article because I know the Ashley just posted a new article. Okay. Janelle Evans' latest court filing has exposed the truth behind some of the fired Teen Mom 2 star's recent claims regarding her mom, Barbara, and her son, Jace. The Ashley can confirm that Janelle attempted again to file a DV restraining order against her mom. How are you filing a restraining order against your mom, but not only that, but a domestic violence one? Your mom has not attacked you. This is wild. You are abusing the system. You are wasting the system's time, Janelle. And my goodness, they got enough of your time when you were a teenager. Lay off. Okay. So, as we all know, that Janelle tried last month to get a restraining order on Barbara, and it was denied. On October 3rd, just 8 days ago, Janelle petitioned the court for an emergency DV protective order against Barbara again. Y'all, just 2 weeks ago, she was denied, but here she is again getting another one. Now, however, the statement Janelle submitted to the court to try to get this protective order, which the Ashley has, actually exposes that Janelle was not being truthful in many of her statements from the last few weeks. Are we shocked? No, not at all. Okay, so the Ashley's going to break this filing down for us. It says Janelle admits she has no idea where Jace was or what was going on with him during the period that her and David claimed that they had Jace, and that Barbara was banned from speaking to him. In the statement provided to authorities to try to get the restraining order, Janelle exposed that she actually had no idea where Jace was from September 30th to October 2nd. And the only reason she knew where Jace was on September 28th and 29th is because he was in the hospital. That's the only reason she knows where he was those 2 nights. This is the same period of time when Janelle and her husband were ranting on social media that they had Jace and that he was not taken from their custody. They also stated that Barbara was not allowed to see or talk to Jace during this time, which also is false. The Ashley reported on October 2nd that Jace had already been removed from Janelle's care and placed in the custody of CPS. Janelle and David denied this was true. And here's what I know, just from my sources, is that Saturday morning before they left the hospital, a judge signed off on an emergency order removing Jace from Janelle's custody and placing him in what's called like a kinship, from my understanding, where Barbara would be like his custodial parent again, like she would be back over him. However, while Barbara would be the person over him to be able to make all the decisions related regarding to Jace, he was not placed with Barbara at that time. So Saturday, everybody's at the hospital. Barbara goes home. Jace is taking somewhere else to a inpatient program to get stable on his mental health medication, and stuff like that. Does that make sense? So even though he was not physically in Barbara's custody when she left that hospital, he was legally, and CPS placed him there legally. Saturday morning, a judge allegedly signed off on an emergency order placing him back into the custody of Barbara and putting him in a inpatient facility to get stable. Okay, and this is what I was told of too Saturday. Back when it happened, I was told of this. Okay. Now, David wrote, "It takes a sick person to spread lies on the internet about a child." So that would be you and your husband, David. You and your wife, sorry. Then the rest of you are sick for chiming in like you know something because you read their lies. You people really need help. Our kids are in our custody, and anything you read is not true. Police reports have been falsified, and the truth is already apparent to everyone involved. Barbara is not involved, and she is not allowed to speak to Jace right now. The best thing any of you can do for Jace is to stop talking about him altogether. Please. Thanks. This is October 3rd, when, mind you, September 30th, the judge signed that order, allegedly. Okay. In documents filed on October 3rd, the same day that David posted this, Janelle herself admits that she did not know where her son Jace was until October 2nd, and that she was not in contact with him at all during this time. Janelle Eason was cut off all contact from Jace and the status of him from September 30th to October 2nd. Janelle wrote in her statement herself. In the statement herself, Janelle says, "I was cut off from all contact with my kid." Who cut you off? The police? CPS? Yes, yes, yes. I mean, if you have custody of your son, I feel like they have to tell you where he is, right? The fact that they were refusing to tell you where your son was should be like your sign. You guys know Jeff Foxworthy. Here's your sign. Okay, Janelle, you call CPS, you call the police, and they are not telling you where your son is. Well, here's your sign that you no longer have custody of him. Because legally, if you did, I think they would have to tell you. At the same time, Janelle told her TikTok followers that she was not revealing where Jace was because it's no one's business of my children's location, including yours, which is why they didn't tell you, Janelle, apparently. So it seems. Okay, is this little video? Somebody said she literally lost him again. And she's like, no, I didn't. It's none of y'all's business. Janelle admits that she wasn't giving Jace any medication or therapy sessions, just as Barbara claimed to TMZ. How horrible is this? This boy has been on medication for 7 years. 7 years. And you just stop it because you think he doesn't need it? Back in August, after Jace ran away from school, Barbara spoke to TMZ, stating that she believed Jace was having problems because Janelle stopped giving the 14-year-old the ADHD medication he has been on for the past 7 years. Barbara also stated that Jace was no longer seeing his behavioral therapist. Janelle went on to blast Barbara's statements as lies, when clearly it was not lies, because look at this. Says, okay, so she says, please do not believe anything my mother is saying to the media at this time. The truth will prevail, and I'll soon tell you when the time is right. This was August 17th, insisting that Jace actually had a Zoom call with his therapist later that day. In the court filing from October 3rd, Janelle admits that Jace only saw the therapist after the TMZ article came out. She claims that because Barbara was talking to the media, that Jace then needed to go to therapy. She also admits that Jace wasn't on medications. However, she claims that he doesn't need them. Oh, Dr. Janelle, here we are. Really? Barbara Evans lied to TMZ Media because Jace Evans is not prescribed any medication for his mental health. Maybe because you're not taking him back to the doctor? Jace Evans needed to start therapy after the TMZ article incident due to his depression and anxiety that Barbara Evans caused from her giving this exclusive statement. Like, girl, we have you on camera. Janelle, back in January of 2022, Janelle spoke to her followers saying that her mom was going to give Jace back to her then because of his behavior, because of his anger, that he was trying to set fire to things, and that he had gotten physical with Barbara. I'm sorry, but a child that is getting physical with the person that raises them, a child that, you know, the grandmother that has raised them all these years is like, I don't think I can do it anymore. That's a child with mental health problems, right? Right? I mean, wow. Janelle states that Barbara committed bodily harm against Jace by allowing him to take an antidepressant without her consent. All right. Janelle claims that after Jace was hospitalized, after he ran away, ended up in the hospital, Barbara authorized him to be given an antidepressant, which tells you his state of mind. If the hospital felt that he needed an antidepressant, well, Janelle stated that Barbara lied to the hospital, stating she was the primary guardian of Jace, which was not true. Janelle Easton has primary custody. Guess what? The reason she told them that, probably on Saturday, was because she had just gotten custody of him again. Oh, at this time, Jace was in the care of CPS. Mind you, CPS and the sheriff's department had been in and out Friday night and Saturday. Janelle stated that Barbara did not have any medical rights over Jace to do this, and Janelle Easton did not consent to Jace getting this medication, and the hospital is very upset by Barbara's actions. I'm sure they are. Janelle claims Barb committed bodily harm against Jace by giving consent for him to take an antidepressant. Janelle wrote, there is a concern for Jace's safety because Barbara could have called the doctor to prescribe any medication without Janelle Easton's consent. Janelle did not indicate that Barbara consented to any medications for Jace other than the antidepressant. She claims that Jace had to go to a mental health facility because of Barbara's actions to the public. Like, what is Barbara doing publicly? The only people that I really see speaking publicly is Janelle and David. Like, that's really the only people that's really speaking publicly. And what about the bodily harm that David allegedly caused to Jace? Let's not talk about that. Let's only talk about what Barbara's done, right? Okay. Janelle claims Jace was admitted to the hospital due to self harm. Oh my God, where is your son? If your son was admitted to the hospital due to self harm, then maybe he does need antidepressants. I don't know. Maybe Barb thought that that would be the best thing for him. He's admitted to the hospital for self harm, and you don't think he needs, I don't know. I don't know. They actually previously told you Barbara informed the police that Jace had told her that Janelle's husband David assaulted him on Thursday, September 28th, prompting him to run away again. He was taken to the hospital. Do y'all? She's like, how dare my mother allow the hospital to give my son medication for, an antidepressant medication. Oh, but he was admitted because he, was self-harming. Hello? Okay, let's continue. He was taken to the hospital where Barb visited him, despite Janelle and David claiming that Barb was banned from seeing or talking to him at this time. In her October 3rd court filing, Janelle claimed Jace went to the hospital for self harm. Janelle writes that Barbara made false police reports in September. We can assume she's talking about Barbara telling the police that Jace said David assaulted him, and that these reports caused harm to Janelle, David, and her kids. The reports, in return, caused articles to be written again and caused emotional distress and anxiety to my entire family, Janelle wrote. And no, those are not typos. That's exactly how she wrote it. Okay, let's look back. The reports, in return, caused articles to be written again and caused emotional distress and anxiety with my, okay, yeah, I get it. However, on the day that Ashley wrote the article about the police report, Janelle herself confirmed that she had no idea what was happening with Jace, so she would have no clue if it caused him emotional distress or anxiety. Yeah, how do you know that it's causing him emotional distress if you don't even know where he is and you can't talk to him? Okay, wow. Janelle claims Barbara conspired with a random minor to harass Jace and threaten Janelle. What? Barbara Evans also used another third party to harass Jace. I doubt that. That is a sick allegation. And if I was Barbara, I would sue the pants off you. First off, Barbara raised this boy for 14 years. I don't think she would go so far as to have somebody harass Jace. Oh my gosh. Barbara secretly contacted a 14-year-old minor that was a friend of Jace. Barbara expressed threats against Janelle Easton and shared Jace's personal mental health information with a random girl. Y'all. If you go back and watch the older episodes, which is what I've been doing, y'all, I'm literally watching episodes where Barbara is crying and begging Janelle just to be better. She's like, I just want what's best for you. Like, I just want you to be better. Like, every guy that she would bring in, every guy, Love and Grace, that's not Barbara's real account. That's a parody account. I did see that. But thank you for sending that to me. But Barbara, that's not Barbara's real Twitter. That's just a parody account. Um, Literally, if you go back to older episodes, you literally see her crying and begging Janelle just to do right and to be better and do better. And you also see every time Janelle brings in a new guy, Barbara being like, what's your aim here? Janelle, don't be blowing your money on him. Let him help you. Do not blow your money on him. And they would get so mad. Janelle would get mad. Mind your business. I'm sorry, but she's your mom. I mean, that's what I tell my kids. My daughter's 18. I'm like, hey, if you got a little bit of money, don't blow it on your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a weird thing to do. I'm on a live, baby. Hold on one second, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. My little girl came in here. Okay, so let's get back into it. What was I even? I don't even remember what I was talking about. Okay, we're just going to pick back up where we are. Okay. Janelle claims that before Jace ran away on September 28th, Barbara texted Jace's girlfriend to get a message to Jace. It is unknown if this was because contact between Jace and Barbara had been cut off at this point. Probably. Oh, and you guys remember how Janelle said, "My mom has not tried to contact my children since July." That's what she said. "My mom has not tried to contact my children since July." Well, she literally, that before September 28th, Barbara was trying to get a message to Jace through Jace's girlfriend. So clearly you were trying to cut off contact with him. Janelle admits in her statement that Barbara was concerned for Jace's mental health and well-being, even before he ran away last time. Barbara's text to Jace's girlfriend state, "Tell Jace we will be going to court and this will all be over soon. Also, I have the custody order in place, so you are to call and text me. If Jace is struggling mentally, he needs to see a doctor." Is that a bad text? If Barbara is unable to get to Jace because Janelle's not letting Barbara talk to Jace, so she has to text Jace's girlfriend and say, "Hey, please let Jace know this is going to be over soon." First off, here's the thing. If Barbara saw, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Barbara saw Jace's TikTok account. If Barbara saw Jace's TikTok account, that is more than enough for her to worry and for her to feel like he's not okay mentally, which would warrant a message like this to his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? If he's struggling mentally, he needs to see a doctor. That sounds like a concerned grandmother. Barbara acknowledged Jace was in fact depressed, Janelle wrote, adding, after Barbara Evans sent the text to the minor, Jace tried running away from home again. Maybe because he felt like, oh, maybe he actually cares. I don't know. Janelle claims that Barbara is expressing Munchausen syndrome. What? Y'all, this is my first off. If Barbara was expressing Munchausen syndrome, the 14 years that she would have had Jace, he'd be in a wheelchair. He would have big old bifocal glasses. He'd have a cane. He'd have he would not just have ADHD. He would not just have ADHD. Like, this is wild. She doesn't even know what Munchausen syndrome is. Yeah, I know, Kelly. I'm going to lose it too. Like, first off, Munchausen syndrome is freaking Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy Rose. That's Munchausen syndrome, okay? Saying a child has mental health problems and ADHD is not Munchausen. Like, oh my goodness. I can't. In case you're unaware, according to the Cleveland Clinic website, Munchausen syndrome is when someone tries to get attention and sympathy by falsifying, inducing, and are exaggerating an illness. They lie about symptoms, sabotage medical tests, and harm themselves to get the symptoms. Y'all want to know? That sounds like Janelle. That literally sounds like Janelle. Exaggerating. I mean, like last year, she said she had some illness that in like a couple of years she would not be able to walk. You guys know the pictures of her on her social media with like the tube going up her nose. She can't fly because she gets way too sick. She won't be able to walk in a year. She'll probably be paralyzed. This literally sounds like Janelle. If you go to her social media account, all the things that Janelle has claimed to have wrong with her: I can't smoke. I can't eat. I can't fly. Next month, flying in a plane. You know, like, what? Janelle, you are like, I'm sorry. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you because this is not okay. And what's sad is you have children and you believe your lies. Oh my goodness. Since this has nothing to do with what Janelle claims Barb has done, it is likely that Janelle actually meant Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is a mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker of a child either makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick, which never do I remember Barbara faking anything with Jace. Oh my goodness. If so, Janelle would be claiming she thinks Barbara is faking Jace's issues for attention. Let me tell you guys something. If you were to see Jace's TikTok account and the things that he was posting, I think you would know that he is suffering mentally. He was literally posting suicidal posts on a daily. Okay. So I don't think she's lying. She also claims her mom has expressed thoughts of suicide in the past. Haven't you as well, Janelle? Like, what has that got to do with Jace? The fact that your mom has had a tough life. She's had a rough life. Like, okay. Janelle requested the emergency restraining order for herself and her kids on October 3rd. One day later, a judge denied her request for it to be ex parte, stating that Janelle failed to provide grounds for it or to prove grounds for it 1,000%. This is the second request that Janelle has filed in a month, in like 2 weeks, that has been denied. Janelle asked that Barbara be prevented from buying firearms, to be required to surrender any guns she might have, and to be required to attend an abuser treatment program, in addition to having no contact with Janelle and her family. This is like mind blowing. Again, this is what she's asking again, what she's already asked for. Like, your husband has absolutely shown that he cannot control his anger. On your own, I Have Something to Say docuseries, after you guys regain custody of your children, you literally say, the only thing that my kids told CPS is that they were worried about David's anger. Mind you, this kid, David, has a whole, like, so many guns and ammunition. But literally, all the children, when questioned by CPS back in 2019, said their worries was David's anger. That's what they did not like, David's anger. Okay, this was not David's anger. Anger is what leads people to kill people, is what leads people to attack people. Anger is a big thing. It's not like this little thing that you could just minimize. Like, oh, well, all of our children expressed to CPS that their biggest thing that that worried them was David's anger. That's nothing. Yes, it is. It is something. Janelle pulled a gun on a guy that could have got her and Jace both killed, and then lied about it. Called Jace a liar to his face in front of the whole world. Like, what? If you put Janelle and David up against Barbara, Barbara's a saint. And I'm not saying Barbara's perfect, but when you put her up against them and who should own guns, who's been irresponsible with guns, well, it's definitely Janelle and Barbara. I mean, Janelle and David. David has shot the dog. Janelle has, pulled a gun out in front of her children. I mean, oh my goodness. I can't with this. I'm literally like, ah. A court date was scheduled for Tuesday to address the issue today, but the request was voluntarily dropped by Janelle before then. A Columbus County, North Carolina court clerk confirmed to The Ashley. The Ashley will update info on the custody situation soon. All right, so a new article has come out, so let's read that now. And I'm sorry this is taking so long, you guys. I'm just like mind blown by this. Okay, 39 minutes ago, Jace Evans legally placed in the care of Barbara, and has been since Saturday, from my understanding, September 30th. Janelle Evans and husband David Eason banned from interacting with him. We're going to go back and look at that post that David posted saying that Barbara was banned from talking to Jace, because it looks like it's the opposite. My blood pressure is up too. I just can't even believe this. Like, the lies that they tell, it's like mind boggling. Okay. Janelle Evans' son Jace is officially back. I thought it said with his mother, Barbara. Basically, the Ashley previously told you Jace was removed last week. The Ashley can confirm that after spending time in a care facility for the last week or so, Jace was officially released from the program to his grandmother, Barbara, on Tuesday. I think he was actually released before Tuesday because we saw him yesterday. Wait, what's today? What's today? What is today? I don't even know. Today's Wednesday. So yes, that would make sense that maybe Barbara had just went and got Jace from the facility when they were spotted. On Wednesday, Barbara had to go before the judge to make the argument more legal. The judge signed off in order that Jace be placed in the care of his grandmother. Although Jace is officially in the custody of CPS as of press time, he will be allowed to live with Barbara in a more long-term situation, and she will be able to make decisions for him instead of Janelle. Jace has been assured that he will not have to live with Janelle and David anymore. That's what I was told as well. I was told last week, Mods, when was it? So I was told on the 30th so I spoke to a source on the 30th. He ran away the 28th. I spoke to a source on the 30th that evening, and I was told that there was emergency order that was signed by the judge that morning, and that while he, CPS was overseeing what took place, that he had been placed back with Barbara, and he was going to a mental health facility to get everything kind of situated. I was also told that Jace was assured. I was also told that Jace was assured that people would do everything in their power to make sure Jace would be protected and that he did not have to go there. I knew information but couldn't release it yet, just unfortunately, but um the Sun broke the news, and they actually can confirm that Janelle is not allowed to call or see Jace. David, whom Jace allegedly claimed assaulted him on Thursday, is not allowed to have any contact with Jace whatsoever. Jace has the option to reach out to Janelle if he wants to, but Janelle cannot reach out to him. Okay, if a judge is constantly denying your claims that you need a restraining order against your mother for you and your child, and then puts said child with the person that you claim is doing harm to your child, that should tell you something. That should tell you something. Okay, one source tells the Ashley, Jace wants nothing to do with Janelle. He saw some of the things she was claiming on social media about him recently and was furious. I bet, oh, he ran away due to a girlfriend. Like, okay, he's thrilled to be back with Barbara and is excited to start school again. So here's the thing. That's what I said. I said that this whole time. Can you imagine Janelle knowing what happened? Janelle knowing, just say that it's facts. Janelle knowing that David assaulted her son, but her publicly defending David, her publicly blaming Jace that this is all him due to a girlfriend or just being rebellious. Can you imagine the mind that has for Jace? I would not ever want to see her ever again. If that was my mother and I knew why I ran away, it was because your grimy, nasty, stanky husband put hands on me and you did nothing but sit there and watched as it took place. And then I run away and I see you on social media defending him. Oh, my hubby made me dinner. My hubby's so great. Look at pictures of my hubby and my child. They're good with each other. Oh, he ran away because he's being rebellious. I would lose my mind and you would forever be cut off. You would not even be mother to me. I would contact every media outlet and say, from this point on, please do not refer to that woman as my mom. She is to be Janelle, my egg donor. Do not call her my mom. Can you imagine if what we've heard is true, that David assaulted Jace in the presence of Janelle, and Janelle did not even so much as budge to stop it. And then when he ran away, she said this was all Jace's fault, that Jace was being rebellious, that nothing happened, that David was a great guy. Can you imagine what that does to Jace? No wonder why he doesn't want anything to do with her. Also, imagine if this is on footage and the police know about it and the judge knows about it and they're seeing reports, they're seeing filings from Janelle stating quite the opposite, that her mom is the one that is a danger to Jace. Can you imagine the judge over there that's like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, what kind of idiot am I dealing with right now? Anybody that supports these people, let me tell you, if it comes out that this is absolutely true, if it comes out confirmed that there is footage, which I can tell you, I've spoken to somebody that's seen the footage. I've spoken to somebody that said they saw the footage of the attack. Okay. So, and I'm believing my sources that it's happened. Janelle deserves to be canceled. The Ashley can also confirm that Barbara had filed for an emergency ex parte custody through Brunswick County sometime last week. The reason for this was that Janelle still had some legal custody of Jace, even though he was no longer in her care and in the care of CPS. Barbara's request was denied. I wonder why it was denied. Brunswick then referred the case over to Columbus County, where Janelle lives. Oh, okay. A Columbus County judge signed off on the order to transfer the care back to Barb, which allowed Barb to pick Jace up on Tuesday. That makes sense. Okay, she filed in the wrong county, which Janelle's going to be using that. My mom was denied the request for custody. She's going to leave out the fact that it was just in the wrong county. Okay. In fact, a Teen Mom fan posted a photo on social media of Jace and Barbara in the car together on Tuesday. It was likely on their trip home from the facility that Jace had been staying at until Barbara picked him up. Here they are. They look happy as can be. Thank you, Mandy B. Thank you. The court hearing on Wednesday made things more legal. They actually can also confirm that last week, Janelle attempted to file a modification to the existing custody agreement that had been in place between her and her mom for Jace. That request for modification was denied. Barbara and Janelle's original custody agreement had been sealed by the court since 2021. So they actually had not been able to find out what modification Janelle had been trying to make before she was stripped of custody of Jace this week. Sean, if you're here, can you come close my door? It's not closed all the way, I don't think. When contacted by the Sun on Wednesday, Janelle's rep claimed that Jace is just visiting with Barbara. But I thought he was not allowed to see Barbara or speak to Barbara. But now he's visiting? Huh. The Ashley can't confirm this is not true. The Ashley sources tell her the situation with David and Janelle is still under investigation. But to the Ashley's knowledge, the other kids belonging to Janelle and David, Kaiser, Marissa, and Inslee, are still with the couple on the land. As the Ashley reported earlier today, Janelle attempted to file yet another restraining order. We've already went over that. Mad that Barbara authorized Jace to take an antidepressant, saying that Barbara had Munchausen by proxy. There will be another hearing later this month to check in to see how things are going with Jace and Barbara, though it is unclear if anything will be made permanent at this time. As of press time, Janelle and David has not commented publicly about losing custody of Jace. So that's where we're at. Oh my goodness. Y'all. I'm mind blown here. Am I shocked that this whole time Janelle was lying? No, I knew she was lying because I was picking the sources that was telling me she doesn't know where he's at. She doesn't even know. Literally, I was told that she may not even know that she had lost custody Saturday morning because it was an emergency filing that happened due to CPS, like saying, due to Jace making these claims, CPS taking this information to a judge and saying he's in the hospital, he has marks where it looks like somebody assaulted him. We need to remove him from the custody now because if she finds out where he's at, if David and Janelle finds out where Jace is at, as of right now, they can go get him. So we need to remove custody ASAP. So that is what happened Saturday from what I was told. I was also told, I don't even think Janelle knows. I don't even think Janelle knows that she's lost custody of her son, which is why maybe she was online saying, I still have custody of my son. I still have custody of my son. But now we know for sure that's not the case. She absolutely lost custody this past weekend, and now it's been more official. Barbara picked Jace up from the mental health facility yesterday, and now he has been placed back with her. What will happen to Jace when he's 18? He'll be on his own completely. So sad. I don't know. I think as long as he gets back where he's like, okay, mental health wise, Barbara will probably let him live with her as long as need be. As long as he'll be okay. As long as like Jace can be okay and not be, because he had gotten kind of hard for her to handle, Yeah, I feel insulted. She thinks we're all dumb. Yes, she does. She thinks we're all dumb. Now it's like, what's going to happen with the other children? If a judge felt that it was so important to remove Jace Saturday, 2 days after he ran away, why have the other kids not been removed? Why are they still there? So let's look over at Twitter. There's an account called Rue that has been posting. And let's see. Okay. Today, court today, and David was banned. Big ugly mother. Get out of here. So I did hear that was the case as well. That when they had court today, that the courts did not allow. Thank you, Ashley. That the courts did not allow David there, probably due to the allegations. Court was for Jace to be placed with Barbara you know. So because David is not a parent, he's not Jace's father, and due to the allegations, from my understanding, he was not allowed in court today. Um, I love you right back, Ashley. Exactly, Love and Grace. If Barbara had Munchausen, Jace would have numerous hospital visits, and he'd probably be in a wheelchair with like a shunt in his head, with glasses and all kind of other things. Like what? Okay, let's continue to look. Let's read some of the comments. So this is what I put. If they went to court over Jace, that would make sense, right? Considering the allegations against David that he attacked Jace. And that comment was liked by Rue, the person that posted it. Janelle will continue to put David first, 1,000%. If David Eason is banned from Jace because the allegations are true, wouldn't that mean the other children should be removed also? Prayers. Banned from the courtroom. Not to compare, but after reading all this, I finally understand how my husband grew up. Multiple stepdads beating on him. I hope Jay stays with Barbara. Wow. Let's go. Sorry to be so dense, but banned from the proceedings, the courtroom, or Jay's. Let's hear more. We all need karma to kick in. And now we know while he was banned from the courtroom, he's also been banned from contacting Jace. He has. I so needed this. Thank you. I about spit my tea out, but totally worth it. You never disappoint. I'm sure every employee in that courthouse chuckles every single time they enter through the doors. Oh, it's about to go down. Miss Green. No, I'm just kidding. If you know, you know. I hope Janelle loses everything. It's her own dang fault. I can't stand him. You know, dog killer Dave. Okay. This is where Rue shared, the exclusive Janelle lies and court documents, but she's concerned for her son's well being. This article proves it's only about getting back at Barbara, not Jace's mental health, which is something that I've said as well. Janelle is completely jealous of Barbara. Janelle is jealous of Barbara. I've been told stories about things that have happened with Janelle concerning Janelle, Barbara, and Jace, and how Jace will do things for Barbara and Janelle will stop it, will not let him follow through with it. And I'm like, that is literally just out of him being jealous, of her being jealous. She is so jealous of the relationship that her mom and her son has. I mean, I want my kids to be close to their grandparents. I love it, you know? Just a reminder, CPS is doing their job. CPS did their job last time too. I don't know why it's taking so long from the LE side of this, law enforcement. Maybe question that department why, but CPS is doing their part. I just don't know why the other kids have not been taken out. Okay, is there any danger of losing the other kids too? An active investigation right now. Thank you. Is there a chance the other kids will be removed? There's an active investigation, so we'll see. Praying right now. I get up every single morning hoping for good news. I'm on the West Coast, so usually stuff goes down about the time I'm up. Is she even thinking about leaving David? Nope. I hope this time they cross their T's and dot their I's. That's great news, Rue. Thanks for the update. That picture of Jace and Barbara gave us so much hope. This time will finally be different. Guess there's no investigation if the kids are still there. No, the kids are still there. The other ones. Thank you for taking my mind off the Middle East. Yeah, oh my goodness. I don't even want to think about that. CPS didn't do their job last time because they got the kids back. CPS is overwhelmed and underfunded. No doubt the kids will remain in their custody. Has anyone tried calling CPS to see what they're doing with the case? I don't think they're going to tell you, but I definitely would not overwhelm CPS with calls from, fans. How many kids have fell through the cracks and died while CPS was investigating? I have no hope for those kids. CPS is useless a lot of the time. Something is happening today, something big. I feel it in the air. Oh, Anon had it, And Rue confirmed this photo that they were good, We all knew he was with Barbara, but to actually see it and see him so happy has properly cheered me up. So happy too has properly cheered me up. Let's just hope things go as they should this time around. Don't believe everything online, dude. Janelle, probably. I know, right? Let me see. Let me see if anything has been posted to their accounts since this. This is just wild. I mean, y'all, like, come on. All right, so that's all the news, and now we're going to talk about it. I'm sorry it took me an hour to get everything out, but let's discuss for a little bit. That's true too, Lulu. It's not really CPS, it's the judge. So my mother-in-law worked for CPS for many, many years, like 10 years. Um, and she was an investigator. She was a CPS investigator. So when the call was put into CPS saying, I think you need to have these kids removed, the parents are doing X, Y, and Z, she was the one that went in. She went to the school, talked to the kids. She would talk to their teachers. She would talk to go to the houses and talk to them at the houses. She would talk to the parents and she would write her recommendation to the judge saying, I think these kids need to be removed. And a lot of times the judge would not go off her recommendation, despite the fact that she was the one in the house. She was the one seeing these kids, hearing from these kids, and the kids telling her, like, oh, I'm being abused. My dad beats me. My dad this, my dad that. Go into the house, seeing the house filthy. Go into the house, seeing the parents high out of their mind. And she would recommend for the kids to be removed. And the judge would say, oh, well, we're going to order that the father be randomly drug tested. We're going to order that the parents go to NA meetings. We're going to order that they go to family counseling. Let's leave them there. And there were literally times in her 10 years of doing such a job that kids ended up dead because the judge would not remove the children. There was one instance where a dad actually killed his whole family and then killed himself. And she had recommended those kids be removed multiple times because he was not doing anything. When she first went in, she recommended they be removed because it was bad. And the judge did not want them removed. The judge said, classes, counseling, and he would not go to the classes. He would not go to counseling. He would not submit to the drug test. A year into it, he had done nothing. The judge wanted to give him more time. And then he ended up off in the whole family. I got to the point where she just couldn't do it anymore. So it's a very sad situation. And, I have been holding my breath for a long time. Yes, let's celebrate our girl reaching 80K. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. My mother was a social worker. A judge reportedly refused to remove one of her kids from home, and that child eventually committed suicide. My mom left social services after that. Exactly. I wonder what David's parents have to say about him. I don't know. Oh yeah, there are definitely good CPS workers out there, but when there's a judge that the only thing that the judge wants to do is keep the children with their parents because they think that's the best thing. Sometimes it's not the best thing. Sometimes it's not. I will say an article came out the other day where Jace's paternal side spoke up saying that they have been keeping their eye on the situation and that they are heartbroken that the kids have not been removed yet and that they are worried. Like in this situation, the only kid that I'm unsure of would be Inslee. Like Marissa would go to her grandmother, Kaiser would go to his grandmother. The only one would be Inslee. Last time Inslee went with Barbara, but I don't know if Barbara would take her this time. Instead of all those IRS agents they added a while back, maybe they should have added CPS workers. I know that's right. CPS could not properly interview Jace until after his hospital stay, after medication was reintroduced. That is protocol, and judge has to sign up on all of this. Can you please rewatch old episodes of Teen Mom featuring David interacting with the children? The real viewers know something was already off with him. Oh, yeah. I've been watching older episodes, and it's just like, it's very sad, honestly. Oh, my goodness. My neighbor has 3 foster kids that was fed meth on a regular, and they're likely going back. It's so sad. Let me double check to make sure there's not another article that's out. I think we've went over everything. So now we're just kind of chatting about everything. But I've literally been holding my breath, waiting for an arrest, waiting for the children to be removed or something, and nothing. Like, I had to quit holding my breath because I was going to die. I mean, every day talking to my moderators, talking to friends on here, where we're like, is today the day? Like, why haven't they been removed? What's going on? To the point where we're all just like, we're kind of giving up hope. Like, are these kids not going to be removed? If they felt that it was important to remove Jace, then why leave the other kids? Yes, Jace is so brave, and I hope he knows that. Yeah. And two, if the other kids do get removed, and here's the thing, I know, I had to quit holding my breath. If the other kids do get removed, Jace has essentially, saved his siblings pretty much. Also, I would have to bet that Marissa does not like living there. If you guys go back and watch Janelle do her I have something to say after the kids came back after they got the kids back in 2019. CPS took the kids, they got them back. Janelle put out this little docu-series thing. They actually that docu-series was wild. It was wild because they're like, yeah, Marissa testified again today, but today went better than yesterday. But yeah, today she testified that she hasn't been happy living with us at all, that she hates living here, that she just pretends to be happy in any photo that I take or any videos that I make, that she just puts the smile on her face, even though she's not happy about it, that it's all fake. She also, brought up one time where David ripped a door off the hinges with his bare hands. But then later on, when she was testifying, she acknowledged that our front door doesn't have a screen door. So, yeah, she was caught in a lie there. Actually, when Janelle put that video out there, I don't remember who it was, but there was like a hatter page that found old footage of when Janelle and David first got their house, and there was absolutely a screen door. There was a screen door on the house, and there's a 911 call where Janelle is up in the attic hiding from David, saying that she's scared he's going to break the door down to get in. So it's not like, I mean, if Janelle's saying, I have him locked out, but I'm scared he's going to break the door down to get in, then maybe that's like something that she knows has happened before, that he's ripped doors off hinges before. But here's the thing. Marissa literally says he's ripped the screen door off the hinges. Then later testifies that they don't have a screen door because it was ripped off the hinges. So they don't have it now because it was ripped off the hinges. But they tried to twist it to say, yeah, she got caught in a lie because she said that David ripped the door off the hinges, but then later said we don't have a screen door. And I'm like, do y'all really think we're that dumb to not know what was being said here? She's literally saying there's no longer a door on the hinges, not a screen door, because David ripped it off. And then the 911 call, I'm hiding in the attic and I'm scared he's going to break the door down to get in. Hello? None of these kids have a chance. Exactly. None of these kids have a chance as long as they're left to these two. Get the kids out of there and leave David and Janelle to do good out on the land. 1,000%. 1,000%. This has just been so like mind-boggling, you guys. Like, it's so frustrating to sit here and to hear what's happening and to hear um to hear what's happening and everything. And it's like, what's taking so long? Yes, I remember that. One of the reunions where Barbara talked about her and Nathan's mom joking about who David would pew pew first out of the two of them because they felt like he probably would. Yep. Yep. It will be the same crap when the kids are taken away. Janelle will be online crying about how much she misses her kids and what a great mom she is, but she can't love on them and protect them while they're there. Exactly. 14 years of begging for custody of Jace. It took 6 months. Yeah, but can the court papers be public? Um, Probably not. I have heard the CPS can't really get on the land, that they won't let them in the gate. I wonder if Jace is going to do a book or a tell all. Let me tell you something, it would probably set him up. It would probably set Jace up for the first few years of his life if he did a tell all, a book, interview, something that he could profit off of. Like Jill Duggar just did her first book. And well, she did her book. What's the name of it? I forgot. Counting the cost. And her husband Derek said they just got their first check off of it, and it was 50 grand, and they're gonna listen, they're gonna make a lot more than that off this book. So I definitely think Jay should do a book when he gets older and just put it all out there. And one thing that I don't like is when people's like, Jace isn't innocent. He's a kid though. He's a kid and he's 14. It's not like he's 17 and he's beating the hell out of his mom and even we do know that he got physical with Barbara back probably when he was about 12. Still, does it great? I know, like, but that tells you there he deals with mental health. Like, no child is going to be physical with the adult that raises them unless they struggle with their mental health and they need help. And one thing that we see is Barbara was doing the best that she could. She had him on medication. She had him going to therapy appointments. She was doing everything that she could. So, but does that mean that Jace deserves to be attacked by Janelle's husband? First off, you ain't his daddy. You ain't his daddy. I mean, you are the last person that should be saying anything to that child. If Janelle wants to get on to him, punish him, like, but you ain't his daddy and you ain't even raised him. Yeah. Janelle blamed the haters for CPS, had to do a wellness check after Ainsley was born. Janelle was wrong to lie, saying she wasn't tested. Yeah, that's exactly. She blamed the haters for the CPS investigation after Ainsley was born, but really it was because Ainsley was born with THC in her system. So that's why CPS stepped in. I love Jill's book too. Loved it. Yeah, he's a child. Yeah, I would buy it too. Do you think they'll still have visits with Jace? Nope. As of right now, David is not allowed to see Jace or talk to Jace, and Janelle is not allowed to call Jace. Jace can contact Janelle if he wants to, but that's it. And I will do a smaller version of this video, you guys. I may do like a little pre-recorded video that's shorter because this one's over an hour long. So if you see another video coming up with a similar title, it's just going to be like a shorter pre-recorded video for those that can't watch an hour and a half video. Can't they get a warrant or something? Yeah. Get those kids out. Didn't she have other stuff in her system as well? I really don't remember. How's my audio? Can you guys hear my typing? Okay, let's see. CPS investigated Janelle Evans after daughter Inslee tested positive for drugs at birth. This is a report that came out September 8th, 2017. Okay, great. Oh, I could do timestamps. That's good too. Yeah. These allegations are terrifying according to a new report. Janelle, Janelle Evans was investigated by CPS after giving birth to her daughter Inslee back in January when the infant allegedly tested positive for drugs at birth. I don't know where he is. If Jay, I'm trying to find him. I'm actually trying to find Andrew. I want to do an interview with him. Okay, according to the Ashley Realities Roundup, the news of the investigation was revealed after Nathan's mom filed an emergency custody of Janelle's youngest son, Kaiser. It was in the court documents that Doris, Nathan's mom, allegedly said that Inslee had tested positive for drugs. The court documents alleged upon the birth of Inslee, the newborn tested positive for marijuana. DSS, the Department of Social Services, became involved due to Inslee testing positive for marijuana and opening an investigation. Upon information and belief, both plaintiff and David had positive drug screens for marijuana. Sources told the outlet that the baby tested positive for THC, which is found in marijuana. Janelle worked really, really hard to keep this off the show, but everyone knew. The cast, a lot of the crew all knew. It was a hot piece of gossip for a while, but the producers kept it off the show because they knew Janelle would go crazy. Though the test report reportedly came back positive, Inslee was not taken away at birth, but CPS did launch an investigation. For many months following the birth, CPS representatives allegedly made random and frequent visits to assure that Janelle and her fiance David were following strict rules in place. Oh, wow. To get out of the charges, Janelle flew to Los Angeles to obtain a medical marijuana card. She went to this shady doctor on Sunset Boulevard who had been in trouble in the past. I think he's actually a plastic surgeon. It was a walk in clinic type place. She has a lot of friends in LA that helped her sort this out. Apparently, the proof of medical need for marijuana was enough to get CPS off her case, and the investigation was dropped. This was back in 2017, so this was before it became, and it's still illegal in North Carolina, I think. I think. Cannabis in North Carolina is illegal for any use except for a very limited medical usage. Though decriminalized for possession of 0.5 ounces or less for individuals with 3 or fewer misdemeanor convictions. So this is back in 2017 that she had Inslee, and Inslee had marijuana in her system, and so that was definitely before any laws had changed, from my understanding. But Janelle should not qualify for medical marijuana due to the fact that she's been arrested 11 times for breaking and entering, allegedly. I think drugs. You have to have individuals with 3 or fewer misdemeanor convictions. Um, Yeah, they kept that tight lip, which I'm actually shocked that production kept that tight lip, because that would have been a big story for them, honestly. Like, that would have brought a lot of viewers to the show if they would have aired that. Yeah, I mean, she could have consumed it in any way, gummies, I don't know. But anyways, you guys, we're going to continue to keep up with the situation with Janelle, David, Janelle, David, Barbara, Jace, all of them. I'm just so glad that Jace has the option now. He cannot be forced to go out there to the land. If he wants to call his mom, he can call his mom. But let me tell you something. If that was Jace, and this was true, what we're hearing is true, that David attacked him, and his mom sat there and done nothing and then lied about it and took her husband's back and blamed Jace, you would never hear from me again. Never, ever, ever. And like I said, I would contact media outlets and say, do not refer to that POS as my mother. When you write articles, please refer to her as the POS egg donor, Janelle, if it's true. No, they're not homeschooled. They do go to school. And all I got to say is, Janelle, if everything that we're hearing is true and it comes out that it's true, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. Please do a Kaiser and David video on Teen Mom. I will work on that. I'd actually started working on a video just to kind of highlight Janelle's like having Jace and how she tended to Jace and how it came to be that Jace ended up with Barbara and everything. I was gonna cover that, but you guys, it's been a lot lately. Yeah, definitely be ashamed of herself. Yeah, what the hell is David even doing discipline Jace anyways? It's not like Jace has been living with him for the past 14 years and that's like his stepdad. That would be one thing. If they really had this stepdad dynamic, but they don't. Let's hope so, because they don't allow CPS out there to the property. So anyways, you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I will do a little, we're going to do a little live stream in a little bit to celebrate 80,000 subscribers. What, you guys? That is mind blowing. Also, you know, what it's been like being on YouTube for as long as I have, getting to 80,000 and the struggles, the stress, how great it's been, and just being appreciative of where we are and all the people that have had to support me. So come back here and hang out here in a little bit. We'll talk about my time on YouTube, and then we'll probably talk about whatever else pops up. So join me back here in a little bit. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys back here in a little bit. Bye, guys.